and welcome to Freshly Grounded, the brand new podcast.
Well, it's not exactly brand new anymore, is it?
Welcome to Freshly Grounded, the podcast.
That's better.
Created by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Huh?
I said welcome to Freshly Grounded.
After that bit.
Created by
After that bit.
best friends Faisal and Sam.
Really?
Okay, so I got us some juices, organic pressed juices. I chose yours for you. Do you know what I like about you, Kaya, is that you make me feel comfortable enough to do these things, like to make choices for you, like on food and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not like you. I'm like yesterday, the other day I went for I had like a full day meeting and we hadn't eaten all day because we were doing like content and meetings and stuff like that. And right at the end of the day we were going to eat. I was like, let's make sure we do food together. So the brother I was meeting was Traveller, so he combined Dhuhr and Asr, whereas I need to pray Asr. So end of the day, it's Asr time, but we have a very short window to have some food. So, and the place happens to be next to a masjid, like most things are here.
Yes.
And so what happened is, I was like, all right, let me go pray Asr because it's Asr time, and then you go there and order the food to like make up for time. And so instead of me being like, oh, just grab whatever, I was like, right, I want a chicken shawarma plate. I was like very specific. And like I knew my order.
Yeah.
But I'm very specific like that. Whereas you, I feel like you could be like, bro, give me whatever.
I enjoyed tasting new things.
I love those kind of people.
And although in your defense, I've just like turned my nose up at something that you bought.
No, but that doesn't put me off at all.
Yeah.
So I got you. I was safe with myself. I got myself pineapple, apple, and mint. Like you can't go wrong with that.
That does sound good.
And
mine, I noticed you've gone for something called Biobab.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I got no
So
idea.
just read what the ingredients of your one.
Right, the ingredients are. This might take a while. Pineapple, orange, grapefruit, carrot, turmeric, cayenne, and Biobab.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not making it up.
Well, I wonder what that sounds like.
Shall
a bit
I Google
much.
it?
Yeah, go on.
I reckon it's some sort of like root vegetable. I'm going for.
Biobab. I think it could even be a spice.
Yeah. So like Biobab. Did even spell it right? It's a plant made of. That's weird. That can't be it, can it? It's like a big tree.
This is really good.
Biobab.
Let me see it.
Yeah, it's like this massive tree.
Yeah.
How can I get that massive tree in that little bottle? Hold on, it must be the leaves in it, obviously. Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
It's a tree. Yeah, mate. It's just a picture of a tree. I don't know what to say to you. It must be obviously it's the leaves, but
bro. So it's just how you'd have mint, I guess. All right. So this juice is nice, but as you know, I like ginger in my drinks, and because it gives you that kick. And then if it didn't have ginger, I would probably say at least give me cayenne for a bit of a spice. And it has neither, obviously. So this is a good juice for a weak human.
It's almost as if you couldn't see what you're ordering before you ordered it. Next time,
they had very specific juices.
Next time, maybe you actually look at what you're ordering.
Do you know what it is, bro? If they had like options for me to add things, but they don't. These are obviously pre-done.
Yeah.
You can see because it says that it was pressed on the 29th of August, which was about 2 days ago.
Where was this done?
They always do it in house. They probably don't get enough.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
Consume within.
I'm trying to buy more local things now, like made in UAE.
Okay. How come?
Fresher.
Yeah, fair.
I also want to sort of support it because they're mostly like small farms sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And I just want to like support that.
Nice.
Growing things, it can't be easy, or it's not easy, but it's more like indoor farms popping up.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like the idea of it. I want to support it, and it's fresher and usually cheaper, and the quality is good.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's a good plan.
Yeah.
Can't knock it.
You can't, can you?
No, so I won't. Okay, so for this episode, I thought we could do. We spoke about it a couple weeks ago, and essentially, this is based off of an episode that I sort of My First Million, which is a podcast, obviously that we've spoken about for a few weeks now, that you put me on, Jazakallahu Khair, which is a really cool podcast about kind of like startup culture and stuff like that. And they did this fun episode where the two hosts pitched each other business ideas that they've had in the past that they, you know, when you kind of just have an idea and you like write it down in notes or you speak to friends about it, those kind of business ideas that they haven't implemented yet, and that kind of are, they describe them as bad, good ideas.
Yeah.
And so ideas that kind of like the idea of them is good, but probably like the implementation might not work, or the implementation might work, but you've just been too lazy to start it.
Yeah.
And so I think what we'll do is we'll go one at a time, try and pitch the other person this idea. I've noticed, what I realized about myself in this process of preparing for this episode is that all of my ideas, though I have so many, once I say them out to somebody, it's like I've satisfied that need, and then I don't write them down.
Yeah.
And so I had to like go back in my thoughts to try and remember ideas I've had in the past. Alhamdulillah, I managed to remember all of the ones that I wrote down are ideas I wasn't like thinking of new ideas, genuine ideas. I had like some of them recently, and some of them like I've had them years ago and I remembered them, so I wrote them down. We should also prerequisite it by saying that the idea of this podcast is also that obviously all of the ideas like are halal or like can be halal, or perhaps bonus points if they specifically benefit the Muslims.
Yeah, and I want to say as well, if anyone wants to take one of these ideas and launch it, then please take it and keep it halal and don't diverge from that.
And maybe we'll get some reward for like
inshallah,
starting the thing.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll email us and say, hey, you got 51% ownership.
Yeah,
you got majority ownership.
If anyone wants to do that, I'd be happy to accept that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so you go first.
Okay. All right, should I start? I know you're a SaaS man. You like SaaS companies, yeah. So I've got one interesting SaaS idea, and I don't get many SaaS ideas, interestingly enough.
That is funny because you always talk about it.
Yeah, but
you just go on and on.
It's all like, so I talk about it. No, I don't know why it is. Obviously, I work in like a space. I own an agency. We deal with SaaS companies all the time. So maybe because my brain is like constantly thinking about that, I just think of ideas. But the first idea I've got, it's not groundbreaking, but let me know what you think. So these newsletters are blowing up right now. Like newsletters for every niche is like getting really, really big. Again, Sam from My First Million, he sold his newsletter to HubSpot for. He kind of alluded to like $20-30 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn the AC down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great shout. So my first idea. Sean on the podcast recently saying he's got a newsletter as well right now.
Okay.
And he's saying they keep getting, the way he knows he's got product market fit for the newsletter is they keep getting responses and replies to the email using their banter, right? So they have banter in the email, like interesting phrases they use, like funny phrases. And people reply back with like, oh, the email was extra spicy, whatever it is, the extra spicy today, something like that. Yeah?
Okay.
So people were like engaging in the culture of it. And he was like, that's like a sick way we get product market fit when we see that. So I was thinking, wouldn't it be good if in a newsletter you could have like a YouTube video, have the comments underneath somehow, or have the comments compiled somehow, because only the people who send the email get to see those replies, isn't it? What if you could what if there was a SaaS that would compile all the replies to a newsletter, and maybe in next week's newsletter or the next day's newsletter, it's got a section where it's like, here's what you guys thought about yesterday's newsletter.
That's interesting.
You just compiles it automatically, and you can add it in as like a little section.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Small idea, but probably like a lot of newsletters would use that, I think.
Yeah, because why would you? Everything is moving towards community. So if you can increase community aspect of anything, why not? And also, the one thing you've actually just touched on is the fact that as successful as email newsletters are, they are still. It's like they've not moved on necessarily in terms of their technology.
Yeah.
Like you can't add widgets to a newsletter, can you? Can you? Like live widgets, you can live comments.
No, it's a good point. You can't unless you can't. No, if you're going to keep it in Gmail or keep it in the email sort of app, then you can't. And if you take it out of there, it's no longer really a newsletter, is it?
Yeah.
So in a way, it's a limiting thing.
Could you not do like an iframe?
Well, I don't know. Maybe some sort of AI.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, in theory, you could like.
But it wouldn't be like live, like an iframe. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you're more into this kind of stuff than me right now. An iframe is more like it can load maybe like a GIF or something like that. That's like it's like it's somewhere.
You can basically frame within. I have not seen anyone use iframe in the last 5 years, by the way. So I don't even know if it's still here.
Interestingly, I think we do use it for our newsletter, I think.
Yeah, so you can essentially like build a website, and then frame, and then frame that website in a piece of code, And so what the email would be is the email would just be like a mirror of whatever website you've coded.
Yeah. So I think sometimes when you
And in a website you can have widgets.
yeah, when you embed it, like when you embed a Calendly into your website, I think it's
Exactly.
iframe.
It's like embedding a YouTube video, but embedding the whole website.
I think it can be done actually. That's an interesting point, but maybe not in email. I don't know. Maybe not. The most I've got with an email is a GIF, embedding a GIF or embedding a video. I don't even think the video plays in the email. I could be wrong, but that's as far as
No,
it goes.
you can. Like, we use this is everyone's gonna get secondhand embarrassment when I say this, but at Fresh Uganda we still use Mailchimp, and so in Mailchimp you can just embed a YouTube video. It's not.
But does it play inside the email or does it take them out to YouTube?
I'm sure it plays inside the video. You can play a YouTube video in email, can't you? Yeah, because you can custom HTML an email template if you want to.
But will it play in the email?
I don't know now. Yeah, I'm sure it does. But now your question. Now
I'm not sure. Maybe it does. Maybe people was looking at it, it's like every single day I do that. But for me, we do cold outreach using Loom.
Yeah. You said
Yeah, and in one of Loom's features, which again leads me to think that you can't play a video in it because otherwise they would. What it does is basically you can paste the Loom link in the email, and it will have like a thumbnail, but it will be like a GIF. So it will show it moving and stuff. But if you click it, it takes you to Loom. So that's as far as it goes. But yeah, back to the actual idea. Maybe it can't be live, but even if it was like yesterday, here's the community's reaction to yesterday's email, and it's just people like loving it or whatever.
Yeah, I can see why that would be successful because companies, like you said, would like to.
It's social proof as well, you know, because when you're looking at a newsletter, you may enjoy it, but it reinforces your enjoyment if you see, loads of people enjoy this.
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing. Because you can't really, there's not a real way to know that, there's a million subscribers on this newsletter. There's no real way. You just enjoy it.
So would you class this as a good idea or a bad good idea?
I think it's a good idea, man.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it's going to make millions and millions, but someone could release this as like a Chrome plugin maybe. It's a relatively quote-unquote small idea. I don't think it'll be crazy difficult to build.
But it would if you try and change the whole culture of email. Then you're shifting a whole culture.
Yeah, I mean, if we could
maybe the technology is not hard.
Yeah, I'd be more excited about it if you could do it live. If it was like a live thing where it's like constantly updating. But because it's like a day behind, I don't think it's going to change culture. But I definitely think it brings a new element to the newsletter. Maybe
like emails in the Web3 world will change then, and then you can have those kind of things. Because I think there is a need for a bit of an overhaul on emails, isn't there? Like, back in the day, emails would have just been text, and now obviously you can have images and documents and stuff like that. So it wouldn't surprise me if emails get an overhaul, and then like the big corporations start like implementing them.
Do you not feel though there's sort of like a purpose behind emails not going beyond where they've gone? Because it's like, at what point does it stop being an email? Now it's just like, I'm sending you a whole website.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Do you know what I mean? So email kind of like how a text message is supposed to just be a text message. Like, the technology is there to make a text message like, it could just be like a FaceTime call. But then that's a FaceTime call. So technology's kind of got to stay limited at some point, I think.
That's true.
That's probably why they haven't gone that far. Because otherwise it just won't be email anymore.
That is true.
I don't know how far they'll take it, but I can imagine a startup coming along and saying, look, like a superhuman competitor, just saying, look, our emails are like all video based, and like this is like
I'm sure if we googled it, we would find like there's startups who are trying to reinvent email. Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure there are. So
yeah, good idea.
Yeah, your turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna see which one I go with. I'm gonna go with a. Okay, I'm going to go with a bad good idea, right? Okay. I don't think anybody should implement this. Okay. And I don't think it's like feasible, like payment wise and stuff like that. And, like, but I had this idea. I had this idea like during COVID. I was noticing that all of the masaajid, they like were getting these disposable prayer mats. And one day I was in the masjid, I was praying on this disposable prayer mat, and I couldn't help but notice while I was praying that on the prayer mat it like had the website for like for these prayer mats, and I ended up checking out the website, and it was like a company who obviously just started in COVID and just capitalized off it, and they were just selling PPE specifically for masajid, and so disposable prayer mats, gloves and stuff like that.
It's a great idea.
And so the idea I had was electronic carpets, right, in the masjid, right? Okay. So imagine you start a business, and this is your niche, and and you what is it called, like trademark it and stuff. No one else can do this. You trademark the technology, and essentially because the technology definitely exists. Essentially, what you do is you come in as a company and you install these new carpets in the masaajid, and there's loads of messages that would obviously like there's unlimited audience for this, because in the UK alone there's hundreds of thousands of masaajid. And you install these carpets, and what you can basically do as a mosque owner is, with a remote, I suppose, you can change where the rows are.
Right.
And so when it's social distancing because of like an illness or something, then you can make the rows wider, so like the place of prayer. So you know how you go to the masjid now, even now in the UAE there's still some social distancing,
yes,
and so there's like stickers on the floor where you can put your feet, so the lights would do that. So that LED strips, right? Fine. LED lights would do that, and then you, with technology, so you're saving paper, it's environmentally friendly. And so that's one thing, the benefit from it. A, that you can like make the rows wider, the place of praying wider. And then B, you can actually make the rows themselves thinner and larger depending on like busy times. So for example, when it's like normal prayer time, like when you go to the masjid here, it's a masjid that probably fit, how many people do you reckon? Like 2,000 people or something. At least. But then during normal salah 5 times a day, it's about 2 rows of people. So you can make those rows like bigger. Whereas during Jumu'ah, you can make those rows as small as you can make them without still being difficult.
That's a great idea.
And so you can just constantly change the LED lights that like make the rows and stuff.
I like that. I do like that. Interesting one. I also thought maybe instead of LED lights on the floor, you could do it like projected from above.
That's a good point. But then the problem with projected from above could be that it's shining on people's heads and then it's not hitting the floor.
That's a good point. Yeah, I like it, man. So, but what would you do? Would they just have like plain carpet? So it could be...
It'd be customizable. So you could... it's up to you. Like you could get different you get carpets with designs, you get coloured carpets, you get plain carpets, and then there's different ways of doing it. Fine. And we basically go in and we take care of everything top to bottom. That's how we like have that whole market fit. So from the ordering process, you do the order online, you customize the carpet online, you make the order. We'll come in and we'll like vet and size up the masjid, and then we'll be like, all right, cool, we're going to come back in 2 weeks' time. We're going to install it all. So you pay us labor costs, you pay us everything, and then we give you like the whole technology, and then you get like, for example, like a yearly or a quarterly, for example, maintenance. We come in every quarter, make sure everything's working fine. You also got like an emergency number if anything goes wrong with the lights or anything like that. We can call us out for like a fee and come out. And so like I think the business plan is just like massive. The obviously questionable thing is like, well, you could say like, are you making money in the wrong way? But I guess not. Like someone has to provide carpets in the mosque.
Yeah, people are selling carpets to the mosque.
Yeah, exactly. There's companies who specifically do mosque carpets.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go somewhere very different. Not very different, but check this out, yeah? Because you said COVID. I thought you were going to focus on like the cleanliness aspect. So I thought what you were going to do is have the carpets, like each row is like a conveyor belt of carpet. So imagine like a treadmill, So after the salah, the carpet moves down. underneath is like what's it, UV light that kills bacteria.
That's really clever though.
And then it comes up, but that'd be mad that's investment.
Funny. That is interesting. It's like that's like how they've done on the escalators, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. And it's just like, so every salah you get a new sort of sheet and the one underneath is being cleaned. That could be interesting, but mad expensive to implement, so it wouldn't really work. But one thing I want to say, I think one way we're onto something good here with this whole concept, just to step out of this idea thing. The fact that you went and Googled the name of the company on the disposable prayer mat, that's like my first million superfan type stuff, innit? Because not many people do that, man. Not many people will look at like, oh, that's an interesting...
well, this was like beginning of like when they first opened Massage, it was like 2 years ago. And I was like thinking, who creates disposable prayer mats? Like until COVID, I never knew that was a thing. I don't even think it was a thing until I never saw a disposable prayer mat before COVID. So I'm like, this must be a new thing. We must have specifically done this. And then I actually went further. Then I went on Alibaba.
Right.
And I was like, okay, let me see like where these guys are getting supplies from. And it turns out like people in Alibaba were just making bank off of these like 2 designs, and they're just sending rolls out to people, and you can either customize it or just get normal ones. And they were charging like 1 penny for like a whole roll. Like it was peanuts. And these guys were charging £15 a roll.
Right.
So they're making like 99, like they're like 150% profit.
That's crazy, man.
Or 1,500%, whatever it is. Not 150%. 150% would mean they're sending it for like
I personally don't do public math.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'd suggest you do the same.
Yeah, but they're making bank. Yeah,
making a lot of money. I'm really interested in like boring. We've spoken about this before.
Yeah. Okay, so this is your next idea.
Boring.
Okay. I know what you're gonna say here.
Yeah, Boring industries, yeah. Which is why I was intrigued with the fact you went and researched that. Because anyone else would be like, who cares? It's like a little piece of paper. Like, who cares? But for me, that's mad interesting. Like these little, because most people think the only way to make money these days is like launch a SaaS.
I reckon them companies made millions.
Bro, most people you see on earth who are rich through quote unquote boring industries, not through a SaaS, not through like a Tesla or a SpaceX. It's more like, oh yeah, we make lawnmower engines, and last year we turned over like $90 million. Like, what? Lawnmower? I didn't even know it was an industry, but that kind of stuff. So I spend a lot of time thinking about these like weird industries, little industries, and one that keeps coming up, is vending machines, right? So the concept of a vending machine business is very, very simple. You go and buy 5-6 vending machines, or you can start with one, I guess, and you just go into an office building or even a residential building. There was one in my last sort of apartment building at the ground floor. And you just agree with them, look, I want to place my vending machine, we'll pay you rent, and then you just start making money, yeah? So it's a relatively small amount of investment, because vending machine is not that expensive. You can get like second-hand ones like 500, 400 pounds. And and like just fill it up with like whatever you want to fill it up with, halal inshallah. And you just start, after like 6 months, it starts to just be pure profit.
Yeah, so we spoke about this about like 5 months ago, didn't we? We did. We were like, oh, this is a good, like, let's do vending machines.
Mate, I'm genuinely, I'm almost always on the cusp of buying a vending machine. Yeah, I ain't done it yet, but I'm always like, should I go and buy?
Like that, when we had that conversation, I was like looking at prices.
I was the same, I've done it many times. However, recently, new twist on it, it was from MFM again, My First Million Again podcast. It come up in one episode I'm watching or listening to. And they did some research. The stats say vending machines do good, but the best vending machines to get into are feminine hygiene vending machines that you see in toilets and stuff, for female toilets. Yeah. They apparently, from a money perspective, they smash it, man. Yeah. There's nowhere near, the other vending machines are nowhere near. And I think Sam was saying like the top 3 selling was like Coca-Cola, M&Ms, and feminine hygiene stuff.
That also makes you kind of think like, is there space for like children and stuff, like nappies and stuff? But I suppose people are prepared if they're out with children, aren't they?
You'd say that, but you'd think that. But again, the feminine hygiene thing, you'd think
you could probably put them in the same vending machine.
I think that'd be a good idea, isn't it? Have a feminine hygiene, baby hygiene.
Kind of like a general health, family health vending machine.
In a female bathroom, again, that for me just seems such a good business.
Yeah, that does sound.
I could imagine walking up to someone who's like a millionaire, and like just outwardly look really rich. But what do you do? He's like, we sell female hygiene things in bathrooms.
Yeah, you can imagine that.
You can imagine that.
Yeah, you can.
And it's just like, that's so boring and so like you'd never think of it. That I can see why you're turning over.
And you could probably charge a premium, because like if you're at the point where you're willing to put the money into a vending machine,
man,
you probably came a bit unprepared, right?
And I could just almost imagine it's a little bit. I'd enjoy the process of going to like a hotel or going to, again, apartment buildings where they've got like a public toilet.
Yeah, you can make it classy.
You can make it look good.
Not because I think like there's a non-classy thing of like what you see in service stations
like
in
a little white box, and it's like put a pound in and like
that's very tacky. It's like the guy's just like been on a night out and he's like a one night stand or something.
Not like that. This is more like
hygiene,
health, and again, there's nappies in there. It's not just like weird.
It's kind of like going to a dentist.
Exactly like that. So, but you do have to make it good. Like maybe there's some chrome thing and like a nice, keep it maintained. Especially in Dubai, like it's got to look good. Like the toilets here, like amazing. You've got to actually, it can't be like a random thing on a stacky on the wall.
I think it's a very good idea.
I think it's a great idea, and again, that's something that like at any moment I think I could just start doing that, because like I think that's a brilliant idea. Yeah, and it could scale. So I think how many public bathrooms there are just in Dubai.
Do you know what it is, bro? Like many ideas, like all of these ideas, probably it's just about getting started. Because if you did just buy a vending machine and you brand it and you chuck those things in it, then you've done it. Like it is sometimes just that simple.
Had I have started it when we first spoke about it like 6 months ago.
Yeah, you'd be 6 months in.
I'd probably be making profit today.
Maybe,
inshallah.
You would have started getting some deals with some like malls and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even. That would be ambitious. What I'd probably do is start going to like these smaller. There's different like property development companies here.
Like office buildings and stuff.
Office buildings. I wouldn't go to the top ones. I go to like the mid-range ones. Yeah, they're still classy, but it's not like this is like mad like luxurious. It would just be like mid-range, And yeah, I just like talk to him, strike deals. Like, look, I've got vending machines. You've got 6 different office buildings here. You guys are trying to rent out your stuff or sell your stuff, your buildings and your apartments. Put a nice looking vending machine in the bottom with, you know, water and sparkling water and this and that. You know, offer your tenants a bit of a better lifestyle, optimize their sort of morning as they come out the lift. You add something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And,
So how would the business...
and I paid them rent as well.
I was going to say, so would you pay rent to them?
I think that's the model that most people say. You pay like, you know, whatever it is. Either you pay rent or you do like a revenue share. I'm not sure which is best.
Pay rent, isn't it?
I think so.
They usually know what's locked in. Because then after that, it's just marketing
Exactly.
and stuff. Well, not marketing, but kind of it is like product and...
I wouldn't mind in revenue share. I wouldn't mind it. If it's like free rent, I wouldn't mind that.
I don't love revenue share ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't like about them. I don't think that they're great for the person who... I think it also shows lack of trust. It can show distrust in your own business plan to the person, and also it kind of shows that you don't trust the person either. Like, look, if it goes well, I'll pay you. Like, you got to be able to take risks in business.
That's true.
I don't think all revenue share ideas are bad, but I do think that like most of the time people just prefer to give. Like, bro, there was a company who, like a huge company who basically offered their employees either a lower salary with stock options or no stock options but a higher salary, and the stock options are worth more than a higher salary, and like 90% or whatever of the employees took the higher salary now as opposed to stock options. I think people just want to get paid and they just want to be in control of their own thing, and so that's why I'm not a huge fan of revenue share businesses. Fine. Right, I'll hit you with my next one.
Hit me. Any second now.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to show which one to go with. So this is also another. I have so many of these. Like, they're all in the same kind of realm. I have one good idea, but you know it, and it's a boring one, so I can't bother. I'll talk it at the end. It's not podcast. It's not viral worthy, right? Like, these other ones are quite funny. Yeah. Well, not funny, but like, you know, they're interesting. Yeah. Okay, so so these ones that are interesting are all like Islamic, right? So there's one. Okay, that is. Which one should I give? I think this one's quite a good idea.
Go on.
It's an alarm. So it's a wearable technology that detects your like sleeping pattern and all of that kind of stuff, right? So this does exist, right? Whoop do this really well. I think like they're the industry leaders in it.
Or a Ring as well.
Or a Ring. The difference with this is that what it does is, so maybe this is like a piece of software that can be installed in something like a Whoop. Maybe the whole wearable technology doesn't need to be created. What it does is it detects when you're out of REM sleep. So when you're out of a sleep cycle. So that, because essentially from my like very weak knowledge of sleep, you almost want to complete sleep cycles and then wake up, and that. So when you wake up and you feel like and like you feel groggy and you can't, it takes a long while to go. It's probably because you were in like a deep sleep and you're inside a sleep cycle and you shouldn't have woken up. The best time to wake up is like after after a completed sleep cycle. Yeah. Okay, so the business idea is that so this detects the type of sleep that you're in, and then it wakes you up and sets an alarm and wakes you up, right, for tahajjud. So you know how tahajjud is a window? Yes. It's like, let's say for example tahajjud is like, you can even maybe set the window, like, because people may have different opinions. Yeah. But let's say for example, the last third of the night is specifically like 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. It's a 3-hour last third of the night, right? It's a long night. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. It's 3 a.m. 6 a.m. What this software will do is it will wake you up naturally within that window, so you can catch tahajjud, but you wake up like very naturally, so it's not as difficult to wake up for tahajjud.
I like it. But could you not, just to be annoying, could you not program the Aura Ring to just wake you up at that time? Because I think you set not Aura Ring, it's another one. Maybe Whoop, and there's also that very popular clock app on iPhone where it does the same thing. You put the phone on your mattress, isn't it?
Oh, and it wakes you up outside.
So you could set that.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah,
fine. It wouldn't be hard to. It's not that defensible, basically.
No, it's not. It's actually trash idea. Stuff all like.
Shall I hit you with another one?
Hold on, before you do that,
fine.
I want to just say because this is a great. When I found this app, it's become part of my life almost, but I don't really mention it.
You're right there. It's not very defensible at all.
It's not. You ain't got a moat around that, mate.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Layl app? Layl.
No.
This is a brilliant app. So sometimes I think inshallah the correct opinion for Isha is Isha ends at midnight, right?
Right.
There's difference of opinion. But I would usually, if I was trying to figure out when is the end of Isha, I would usually try to like do the maths to figure it out. You know, the sort of you actually calculate the pinpoint when the last midnight is, right?
Right.
Because midnight is not necessarily 12 a.m. It could
Yeah.
fluctuate. We're actually talking about the actual middle of the night. What this app does, Layl, is it figures out where you are,
Right.
calculates Maghrib time, calculates Fajr time, and it all calculates it and says this is, and again also half the night, last third of the night, it calculates it all for you, so you know exactly when these things are. Great app.
It is a great app, but
It's a great
again,
app.
not defensible at all.
Not defensible at all, but I mean,
there's another website called like thirdofthenight.com or something like that does exactly.
yeah, I'm
the same.
sure. And this brother who made this, I think,
But that is cool.
They just released it as like a free thing.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
It's literally like you don't need to do
No,
anything.
very cool app. Very cool
Yeah, I
app.
like
Great
it.
UI.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. So hit me with another one. Hopefully this one's a bit better.
Yeah. Okay. Very similar. Yeah.
Okay.
Almost exactly the same. That's why. That's
But this one wakes you up with all
This one's defensible.
Yeah.
No, the reason I'm mentioning it, that's why I'm mentioning two in one go, because this one's kind of like my backup plan, right? So same kind of technology and everything. The idea of this is, again, wearable tech of some sort. It requires like some serious engineering, but we're blue sky thinking here.
Yeah.
What this app does, what this technology does, is it detects. So every mealtime, it detects when you've hit your third of food, your third of water,
Whoa. Okay.
and so, but it actually also tells you, like how far you are from it, because the Hadith basically indicates that if you must fill yourself up, then you can have a third of food and water. You should have a third of food and water. That's not even the target. So, if for example you've eaten and you're like, you know what, I've had almost my third. I don't need to have a third, but I've had almost. But then other times, like you get like a notification on your watch, like, dude, you've had like half food,
Yeah.
like stop eating kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Interesting.
yeah. I mean, the technology would be like, I suppose it definitely have to be some kind of wearable that can like use data of like, I don't know, your heartbeat, your chewing motion, your maybe like it had to be in-depth technology which I don't know exists yet. But we don't care about that right now in this conversation.
What's Elon Musk's thing where they're putting stuff in the brain? What's it called?
It's called Neuralink.
Neuralink.
Yeah.
It could be like an app on Neuralink at some point in the future, isn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause you probably get that. Because your brain probably knows subconsciously when you're reaching that.
Yeah, there's definitely data points that could be grabbed, yeah, for sure.
Human APIs, isn't it? Interestingly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
The technology isn't quite there, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. Fair
It's
enough.
also one of those ones where it's like, you can have a good idea and have the great technology for it, but it could just like not be in demand. And it's
Yeah.
like one of those ideas where it's like, it's a niche within a niche within a niche. Like most people will probably be like, unfortunately, people may not like consider that hadith as much as we should.
Right.
Like constantly thinking, am I having more than my third and stuff like that. And then secondly, even those who do would have to be in the market for something that like literally tells them. So it may not be successful just because it's a niche within a niche.
Yeah, again, we're just doing blue sky thinking.
Yeah.
It probably, these ideas probably won't make billions, but they're interesting ideas. And what I hope is that these ideas give someone like an adjacent idea. It's like, oh, we could do that for this. So that's, but I like it. I think it's one of your better ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, better than the last one you had. All right, let me go for another one now.
I think my best idea right now is the carpet one.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
All right, go on.
Okay, so sticking to the whole like Islamic ideas, yeah. In Dubai, and I'm obviously like world over, but I know because my wife's looking into it. There's these female-only gyms,
Yeah.
but they're not just gyms. It's called I won't say the name, but it's like a gym, a spa. It's all in the same place.
Oh, there's
Gym.
one called Dubai Women's Club.
There's
which is
that,
as
but it's
well.
not even. That's quite like expensive. This one I'm
Yeah.
talking about is like not even that expensive. It's like a gym membership, but it's in there as like a gym, spa, cafe. What else they got? Classes, other stuff. Basically, like a great place for a woman to be, like to do her workout and just chill. Yeah, and it's all women only. There's no men in there at all. There's one opening in City Centre Middlediff. Or it was already open. There's one opening in Dubai Hills Mall. Sorry. So I was thinking, that's great. Alhamdulillah, amazing. What's the men's equivalent, right? We do
That's a good point.
have men's only gyms, but it's just a gym. Imagine like a full on like chilling zone where there's co-working in there, there's your gym in there, there's a spa in there if you want, like there's a barber in there. There's everything that a man needs and wants and can chill with. Again, halal. We're not talking about like cigar rooms or anything like that. We're talking about like chilling, working, exercising, that kind of thing, socializing. And it's just men. So it's a gentleman's club, but a halal gentleman's club.
Yeah, it does sound good. again, it begs the question of like how much of a demand is there.
I think there is, man.
Yeah,
And the reason I say that, is because these again, I won't say the name.
Have you felt that as a problem though?
I'd love it. For me, it's a problem.
If you think about it, like for you and I, if we want to go to work, we'll go to a co-working space. If we want to then go for a munch after, we'll go for munch after. And if we want to go play pool, we go play pool. There doesn't seem to be too much friction in like that being such a big problem that we need to find a solution for.
No, it isn't.
Although I suppose it'd be a luxury. You have to go to the luxury market.
This is not
a necessity.
We're talking like £100 a month in minimum subscription. This is not like hey, this 20 quid. This is high end. It's luxury market. And the reason I think there's demand for it is, again, these women only ones, they're about to open their third one in Dubai.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So there's definitely demand for it. They're growing. And bro, for every woman that's going there, she's almost certainly got a husband who's on the same wavelength. Because if she's going there, it means, all right, she wants to be conservative. She wants to.
So you could potentially partner with these women's ones.
You could partner with them, but it's just like, it's one sort of data point where it's like, okay, if that many women are doing it, probably 80% of those women are married.
Yeah.
So their husband is on the same wavelength, obviously.
Yeah.
He's going to want the same kind of thing. And again, if you make it luxury, there's one that already exists.
Don't you think, unfortunately, as men, we don't care as much? Like, we should care more. Like,
women being in the same space and stuff.
No, so maybe like men can be like like my wife has to go to a women's only gym,
right?
But then I'll go to a mixed gym.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like, because I remember, I'm definitely not giving fatwa here, because like I remember Mufti Munir, like we did an episode with him and he was like, look, sometimes you have to accept the little monster to have the big monster. He was like, if you going to the gym means that you don't, for example, go to the club. Like, so I'm not giving fatwa, but I'm saying like, what my point is that we also have to shift the mentality as guys and actually be strict on ourselves for the things that like we need to be better on, and that's a message to me as well. So I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. But the point in the business plan here is yes, the women's clubs is one data point, but the huge factor that we can't ignore is that's targeted towards women. Would there be a same demand for men? I argue that there would if you're hitting a luxury market, whereas with women, even if you're not going for luxury market, there's still demand for it.
Yeah, so
you'd have to be going for that high end.
The woman one, and I'll show it to you later so you can see, it's high end-ish, but I wouldn't say it's like mad luxury. It's like, it's nice. It's just a nice gym.
I'm sure that particular product is, but I'm saying like, I'm sure that if there was a women's club that was £15 a month, like there'd still be people going there.
There would.
If there was a men's one £15 a month, I doubt it.
I agree with you, which is why we'd have to go quite high end.
Sure, yeah, it's a good idea.
So when I say gym equipment, it's like a sick gym with amazing equipment. We've got snooker table, but not just like little pool table. No, it's a snooker room. The business center is amazing. The desks are beautiful. There's a dress code. You can't just come in your shorts and like look like manky.
Yeah.
You got to actually look good when you come in. That kind of stuff. It's
I think that's a great idea.
Place, and it's like minimum £100 a month to get into that.
That's a really good idea.
And I think it's a good idea, man. And again, like this whole, I agree with you, by the way, that we should be taking it more seriously with that whole mixed gyms thing. But if you give somebody like a better alternative, you just say, look, this gym is just in and of itself better than that gym we go to anyway. Just better facilities, it's bigger, more areas, more beautiful. And it's also got the snooker room in here, and it's also got the barber shop in here, and it's got the spa, and you can just chill in the cafe in here. And by the way, it's conservative, it's men only. It's like, well, why wouldn't I now? If you've got that budget, like, even if you can't convince them on the concept of being segregated, being good for you, you should go because of that. It'll also be high end enough for us. Like, it's probably better in your gym anyway. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah,
I agree. I think it's a good idea.
And I'd like that kind of concept. I'd like to run.
I think it'd be interesting to bring some elements into it. I don't know how of like watches and another element of smells.
Tailoring.
Yeah, tailoring, watches, really good smells. Like not necessarily oud-y, but like definitely like, you know, like Amouage and Tom Ford. Like something where it could be a situation where, for example, complimentary because you're part of the club. Like,
right.
You know, as you're leaving, like you got all of these like sprays.
Yeah,
like,
I like that.
So you come out fresh as well. Like so you feel good about yourself. I think there's a big thing in feeling good about yourself.
Yes. There could be like a whole like also watch repair, shoe repair type place. Or it's like
a men's spire would fit there really nice.
Yeah, there you go. And it's just like an integrated place where it's like, oh, okay, I want to go to the gym today, but also, you know, my favorite shoe, like the sole is coming off, and I need a haircut as well. And it's like, oh man, bro, you go to one place, your shoes getting fixed while in the gym. You head to the sauna for 15 minutes, get your hair cut, Tom Ford on your way out, grab a coffee as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I'd love that for myself.
Yeah. Black Sheep coffee.
There you go. And it exists in Morley Emirates. There's one in Morley Emirates. I won't say the name. But again, it's not. It's got a cigar room, for example. It's not. It's not somewhere I'd like to be myself. So yeah, like a more conservative one where it's just like men only. And
yeah, I think it's a good idea.
And another reason why I think it's a good idea is, Emiratis, they have majlises. Okay. It's like part of their culture. So men come together. It's like a lounge. A lot of them have it in their houses, which is like a majlis. But it also exists in public. Like it's like majlises around, like a big like square like room almost, right? Where they go and chill. They can eat there. They can talk there. They socialize. It's part of their culture. The fact that exists as well, this sort of men coming together to talk and socialize in that kind of environment, in a halal environment, that also gives me another data point. So, there's a sort of, we could have a majlis in there, you could have like a coffee shop, majlis, that kind of thing. I love the idea. It would take a lot of money to get it off the ground and do it properly, but I think...
I think you're underselling it in the price point, because
probably
here, it's not like the UK. Like a regular gym membership here costs like £80 a month. So if you're just doing £100 a month, like you'd have to charge like £200 a month, £250 a month.
1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah, it'd have to be like worth it in that sense.
Yep.
Good idea.
Cheers, mate.
Right.
Oh, I like that. My next one's going to be good. My next one's going to crush your one, Faisal.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to try and go for... I'll give you my good idea now, which is the one that you already know about. So the idea is basically fat llama, but in the UAE or in the Middle East. So basically, I found... So in the UAE and in the Middle East generally, it's such a beautiful place to be a content creator, because first of all, the natural beauty of like desert... Secondly, like the buildings and the architecture. Thirdly, the sun and the weather. So like it's a great place to create content.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of people, there's a growing community of content creators out here. But one thing I think that is not as maybe easier to find is renting, short-term rental of like creator equipment, like cameras and stuff like that. So I think that's there's a good space here for that. Like just being able to go on an app. Maybe it is here and doesn't. And I haven't seen it, but yeah, the ability to just like rent an app or like rent a podcast. The good thing is that you're seeing a lot more like podcast studios. There's a lot of podcast studios that you can rent. There's a lot of video studios here. So and they do rental equipment. So that does exist, I should say.
Yes. But
I haven't seen a central app like Fat Llama. So like if Fat Llama were in, for example, I think they're a UK-based company or whatever. Like if they came over here to just generally to the Middle East, I think like they would find a lot of success.
I agree. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I do think it's a good idea. And I think the same model could be used for other things. Like you're talking about just like camera equipment, recording equipment. Probably do the same thing with like another industry. I'm not sure what industry, but the model is sick and it could be applied to different industries.
Yeah, and I think there's an added factor that makes it even better here in the Middle East. And that's that, number one, the infrastructure of services here is a lot faster. Yeah. So it would be very, very easy to order something and have it delivered to you as fast as a Deliveroo.
That's true.
Very easy. Like you could order something now and be here in half an hour. And so if you were like a Fat Llama and you were to do this business, you could do like some express delivery service where you could charge an arm and a leg and have it delivered within 1 hour or within 2 hours. If you have if for example, the person's home and stuff like that and has the equipment. The other advantage of being in the Middle East is that a lot of business is run off of WhatsApp here, which when I first came here, I was like, oh, like that seems like almost like a downgrade, right? Like what we used to. But actually it's an upgrade. It's like, people are all on WhatsApp. Things are faster, better, stronger. WhatsApp, obviously, when we were in the UK, when WhatsApp launched WhatsApp Business, I was living in the UK. Yes. And so there was an element of like, okay, like that's kind of cool, but it seems like a bit gimmicky. Like, I don't understand why there's a need for WhatsApp Business. But now I'm out here, I'm like, wow, like WhatsApp Business is so important.
It is, man.
So I think like the UAE and the Middle East in general is quite ahead of the game with like utilizing WhatsApp as like a primary source of communication,
customer service and stuff,
and customer service. So and that also adds to it because like you could almost like instantly just WhatsApp your courier and be like, oh, do you mind delivering it? Like, it just makes things so much easier.
It's seamless because you're already using it for like talking to everybody else. It's seamless. Sorry, I was on my phone because I was looking for. I found a.
I didn't even notice. I was just blabbering.
Yeah. I found this recording space in Al Quoz, and it's like it's a recording. It's a podcast record. It's like not podcast, but like TV as well. Whatever you want.
I think Cairo told me about it yesterday.
Is it?
Sounds like because he said Al Quoz is a big one.
Yeah, I found a name. I couldn't find a name, but it's in Al Quoz. It's basically got like 6 different rooms, like different themes. And one of them is like purple.
Oh, is it?
Like that.
No way. Yeah. What do you mean, like us?
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like,
that's cool. Oh,
so that's
really
interesting.
Cool.
And when I saw it, I'll tell you about it, but I forgot.
Yeah, I was on their website yesterday.
Fine.
If it's the same one that you think.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That kind of thing would be cool.
We've probably got time for one more idea. So you got to give me your best one.
I think I'll give you the best one, but I love ideas also that are like super low barrier of entry, right? So you don't need any money to start. Yeah. So my next idea...
Maybe that could be another video that we do, like ideas like that require zero money.
I want to do this all the time. So we can have, inshallah. Right. I was going to say, okay.
Yep.
If you go on YouTube and you type in, I'll give you a different city. You type in Copenhagen Drive, 4K. Usually come up 4K. Just type in Copenhagen driving, New York driving. You're going to see quite a few videos on YouTube, 4K quality, of people just driving around that city. Yeah, I have come across that actually once. It's so soothing. It is. And it's not music in the background usually. There's walking ones as well. There's walking ones as well, which is very nice. The driving ones are cool. I think a new one could be scooters. The scooters that we use these days could be on there as well. But basically just giving people a tour of the city, no voice over, nothing, just literally the actual sound of the city. For an hour, 2 hours driving around, right? And they're getting millions of views. Yeah. Just do that. No, but what? Okay, but do that in your local area. Do that in new places people haven't done it yet. So yes, you could go to New York and do it. You probably get some views. But do it in places like, usually when it's happening, it's like, okay, downtown New York. Give me like outskirts of New York, just randomly. And just do like a video of that and a video every day of different neighborhoods. Where's the money? Right, that's a tricky one because obviously we don't endorse YouTube ads. Yeah. Right. So the big surprise of this idea is that I don't have an idea how to monetize it. Yeah, you could definitely got views. Maybe the way you could monetize it is by making it like. We can do subscription based, and you can like, I request this area of Paris. Can you do that area of Paris? It's like, okay, cool. We can, because you're a subscriber, we're going to do that for you. Yeah, or like you could do something like where you look at the audience that would view those kind of videos and see what other digital products that audience would like. True. And you make a whole product, a digital product, where it's like a paid community service where they go to his website, they pay like, even if it's £5 a month or whatever, and then they get various products. So the same type of person that likes that probably would like a meditating app, obviously, like, I don't know if the halal one exists, but like for an example, like a something like that. Or something to do with travel, because the reason I always usually look into it is because like if I'm going to travel somewhere, I'll look. I don't know if there's a halal one exists, but I know that there's I know there's like, for example, I spoke to the brothers from the Sabar app and stuff before, but I can't remember. Right. Yeah, it makes sense though. Yeah, you can find adjacent things where it's like you can use to sell that kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's just a good way to sort of build an audience, build a community around something, and then if you're trying to monetize it, but in terms of just getting views and like getting something going. Again, all you need is a dash cam, really. I think a 4K dash cam is very cheap these days. It's not really expensive. Knock it on your car or your scooter, or even like on your cap and walk around. You can do it walking. You don't need a car, to be honest. Yeah. So that could be a really good way. I like that idea to just sort of build something without any investment, really. I like the idea. Yeah. I think I had like a second little idea on top of it, but I've forgotten it now. Yeah, that's a good idea. Such is life. Alhamdulillah. Oh yeah, sorry, I was going to say, sorry. The reason I started getting into that is when I was going to move here, I was like, okay, I've been to Dubai a few times, but I was going to say I haven't really driven. I want to see what it's like. So I would watch it, and I almost had like most of Dubai mapped in my mind before because of these videos. You know what I think is a better idea? How you could turn this into a business. Rather than being B2C, you're B2B. Right. So you're a property developer, and you've it's done. Love it. And our videos are so good that you're just not going to be able to match it. So you just outsource. So you're like, when you go to, let's say for example, let's think of a community in the UAE, right? There's a community called Dubai Hills. Dubai Hills, perfect. So let's say Dubai Hills, they've created this like massive community, and on their website,
because they want to bring people in, there's like on the our area page or whatever, our video that we created is on there. So they've outsourced that to us. We've created this like beautiful video where you can see all of the area, and I suppose then you'd have to say like, why couldn't they do it themselves? And the reason would be is that we'd have to make sure that our videos are so high quality, time consuming, so they take all the time out. And there may be some other special elements, like maybe you could start bringing technology into it. So like, you know how, for example, Google has like basically it becomes almost like VR, like you can like interact with it a bit. So,
the idea isn't that good.
Yeah, VR and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Astaghfirullah, man. Oh, I think we should end the podcast there.
What is that? Yeah. The whole B2B thing. I like
what?
The whole B2B thing.
No, I want my idea to end the podcast.
All right, go on.
Go on.
I'm gonna say
B2B.
Right. So you could just do like yeah. So Dubai Hills, you go to developer Dubai Hills and say, look, we got these videos, they get like 1 million views. We will feature your communities in it for X price. Right.
Okay, that's good.
So it's like, okay, it's an hour-long video of Dubai, but after the 20-minute mark, we're gonna do a little stop off in Dubai Hills and walk around and drive around there, and continue on.
That's very good.
And you can also do it for restaurants.
Yeah, so there's various ways you can monetize.
Yeah, you could actually.
Yeah. Oh, we'll stop at the Tim Hortons drive-through.
Yeah, exactly. We'll stop there. Oh, there's a local restaurant. Yeah, after like half an hour of driving, we'll stop. You just sort of put it in. Oh, we're stopping at this restaurant just to grab a karak or whatever it is, and you carry on. And it's like a subtle ad.
Yeah, I think if you like a person who doesn't have money issues and you're not looking to grow something fast, then yeah, like this is a good idea.
You're looking for the worst way to make money.
Yeah. If you're a fan of the bad ideas, if for example, like you're a uni student, you're getting paid, you're at the time, like you want to build a community.
I don't recommend this for like.
It's a very slow side hustle.
I don't recommend this for like the single mother trying to make rent next week.
Exactly.
Like
So I think there's
yeah.
But yeah, thanks for that idea.
Yeah, no worries.
I think that was good, man. I really enjoyed this episode.
I like it, man, and there's a lot more ideas to come, inshallah.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Let us know how you feel about the episode. If you like it, let us know if you want to see more of it, more of these kind of episodes, and we'll inshallah make that happen. Thank you so much for listening. This was Freshly Grounded. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.